Pokemon Ultimate Adventures by Mikazuki. Meanwhile... Alright, Hyper Potions, check. Revives, check. Full heals, check. Brock was checking through the inventory. There was going to be a battle, so it was important to have a lot of items in case of an emergency. Done! Ebby smiled triumphantly, looking at the two objects sitting on his desk. One of them was Ash's Pokemon League cap, fully repaired and looking brand new. And more importantly, the Quicksilver! Ebby looked at the weapon. Haha, quite impressive if I do say so myself. For the coming battles in the near future, these upgrades will make a world of difference. He smiled, but then stopped. Usually, Ash would be pestering him by now, all excited about having his cap repaired and the Quicksilver upgraded. But that wasn't the case. He and Misty should have gotten back from the center by now. Where are they? Guys! Tracy suddenly burst into the room, getting their attention. We got trouble! Ash is fighting in the streets! He's being attacked by a whole mob! Brock and Ebby explained. Immediately, Brock threw all the items into a bag and bolted out of the room, while Ebby snatched both the cap and Quicksilver in his arms and ran, the two of them following Tracy, outside the building and into the streets. Ebby, Brock, and Tracy gasped at what they saw. Ha! Ash shouted, swinging his fist upward and uppercutting one of the Masingo gang members, knocking him clean off his feet and striking the ground. Ash didn't stop there. As another one attacked him from the side, he quickly spun around and kicked him across the face, sending him flying into a group who were charging at him from the other direction. Many of these punks were down, too injured to fight, while Ash didn't even have so much as a scratch and showed absolutely no sign of fatigue. Ha! He roared and slammed more into the air. Ah! Brock and Tracy's jaws hung wide open. Ash, the same Ash they knew. He alone had trashed over 20 men without the use of a Pokemon and didn't even break a sweat? How could anyone be so strong? Ash! Misty wasn't as shocked as Brock and Tracy, but was impressed. This was her first time as well, seeing Ash fight like this. She gasped when she saw one of the people who lay defeated behind Ash suddenly spring up with a knife in his hand. Ash! Watch out! Even before Misty had shouted, Ash had already spun around and caught the guy's wrist, stopping the knife from coming any closer. Ah! The punk growled, trying to push his arm forward, but he couldn't. Ash's grip was so strong, he couldn't even move. You really tried to kill me just now, and you thought you could do it because my back was turned, didn't you? Ash asked. As he spoke, he tightened his grip even harder, causing the man to scream out in pain and fall to his knees, dropping the weapon. Ash threw him aside, letting him hit the ground. The man's arm was now dark and badly bruised, with the imprints of Ash's hand. Now you're scared all of a sudden? Ash leaned down to him when he saw the man's look of fear. Let me tell you one thing. If you're ready to kill someone with a weapon, you'd better be ready to die by one too. The man passed out from fear. He's a monster! One of the remaining punks gasped. Ah! He screamed, nearly wetting himself when Ash looked his way. I know some of you are Pokemon trainers. I can see the Pokeballs, Ash spoke in a serious tone. Put them gently on the ground, and get out of my sight. Oh, okay! They immediately did as they were told, gently placing all their Pokeballs in a neat pile. Let's get out of here! They all fled in terror, dragging with them their injured companions. Whoa! Ash's friends gasped. Ash! They all ran towards him. Huh? Ash turned around. What? He exclaimed as he was suddenly surrounded. That was amazing! Absolutely incredible! Brock shouted. Since when were you that strong? I've never seen anything like that, said Tracy. Ash, are you hurt anywhere? Misty asked out of concern. Weren't any of you watching him all these past weeks? Ebby spoke, and everyone turned to him. Unlike the others, he didn't seem surprised with Ash's strength. With every fight he's engaged in, whether he won or lost, Ash just keeps getting stronger. We're talking about someone who's fought the Super Fiends time and time again, defeating Aquamarine, and even acknowledged by Skyrender as a serious opponent. At that level, normal people can't even touch you. Oh? Ash blinked, clueless. Same old Ash. Ebby closed his eyes and shook his head, smiling. After the beating you gave them, I'm pretty sure they're gonna behave from here on. One thing bothers me, said Brock. Why did you tell them to leave their Pokeballs? It's simple. Watch, Ash answered, walking over to the pile of Pokeballs and picking them up in his arms. Everybody, go! He threw them all, releasing dozens of Pokemon. Alright, any of you who wants to get out of here, do it now! You're free to go! He called out. The Pokemon all shouted in confirmation, and ran or flew off in opposite directions, leaving the city. Heh, I thought so, Ash smiled, while everyone looked at him confused. You noticed that I was addressing to those who want to get out of here to leave, and naturally, they all chose freedom. But how did you know they all agreed? What if some of them attacked you for hurting their trainers? Asked Tracy. Are you kidding? They'd have to actually like their trainers before they do that! Ash laughed. I've battled trainers from this gang plenty of times, and every time, I saw how unhappy the Pokemon were. I mean, who wouldn't be? They probably don't take care of them, and only use them as weapons to attack people and commit all their crimes. When you stop to think about it, it's pretty obvious those Pokemon can't stand their trainers. He laughed, while the others stared in amazement. Ebby cleared his throat and approached Ash. Here, I believe this is yours. Oh, sweet! My cap! Ash exclaimed, immediately accepting it and putting it on his head. That's better! I can never get used to walking around without a cap. Seriously, I feel naked without it. Have I ever let you down? Ebby smiled proudly. Also, I've installed something new to your Quicksilver. Take a look. He opened it up and showed Ash the insides. In the compartment where he always got the Pester Balls was a new kind of Pokeball transporter. I've removed the Pester Balls and upgraded you to Nitro. I've also installed a retractable shooter, so you can fire them directly from the Quicksilver. Whoa! Ash gasped, looking at his new weapons. But wait a minute. They're explosive, right? Won't it be dangerous if I'm carrying them around inside the Quicksilver while using it as a shield? It won't explode, will it? No worries. The Nitro Balls have a fail-safe system that doesn't allow them to activate as long as they're inside the Quicksilver, Ebby explained, picking up the Quicksilver. There's also a Nitro Ball compartment hooked up to the boosters, so now you've got Nitro Boost. When the keywords are mentioned, you'll gain a massive burst of speed, far surpassing the normal maximum, though only for a second. The keywords are... Ebby then leaned and whispered into Ash's ear. Silver Bullet? Ash said out loud. Ah! Ebby exclaimed. The second Ash said Silver Bullet, the boosters on the Quicksilver flared and shot out of Ebby's arms. Yeah! Brock screamed and dove to the side as the board crashed right into a wall, leaving a massive crack. Yeah, you might want to be careful about saying the words indoors, Ebby's sweat dropped. Along with the Nitro Balls, I've installed a new kind of Pokeball. I call it EC Ball, for Elemental Capture. He handed to Ash a Pokeball with no color, just a mirrored surface. These special Pokeballs are for attacking and defending only. They're useless for capturing Pokemon, but if they hit any elemental attack you throw them at, they'll capture it. You can then either throw the ball like a grenade to release the contained attack, or even fire it from the Quicksilver. The EC Balls can capture almost any attack, like Fire Blast or Hydro Pump for instance, or maybe even Hydro Thunder. But remember, there's a limit to the strength that it can contain, so don't try capturing attacks like Unistrike. Got that? Wow, Ebby! That's great! You certainly outdone yourself this time! I certainly have. Ebby turned around. He may not realize it yet, but I've added one more thing to this weapon, a power that surpasses anything in this world. This won't work for just anybody, only a true chosen one. I know you acted the role during Shamudi's Year's festival, but it was just a mere tourist attraction, and you were the only trainer around. You may have met legendary Pokemon, but plenty of trainers have come across them. My only purpose of meeting you was to give you this power, and unless you really are the one, everything I have done was a complete waste of time, for only the chosen one will wield the power of one. Ebby? Hey, Ebby! Ash called, snapping him back to reality. Oh, sorry, I kinda zoned out back there, Ebby apologized, and turned around away from Ash. This power cannot be wielded by anyone but a true chosen one. I've watched as you continue to fight and grow at an amazing pace, and I am certain that it's you. If you think it's just some gadget I made up myself just to help you beat a bunch of punks, then you're wrong. Dead wrong. If you can't use it, Ash Ketchum, then all my efforts will have been wasted.